Hey folks, welcome back to Only Best Fancy Novels. My name is Robin, and today I want to talk about Once Broken Faith, the 10th book in the October Day series by Seanan McGuire. And this book is a bit unusual in that the entire premise is as a direct consequence of the previous book. In this case, when this book, it deals very much with the fallout of book 9, where Toby was Toby of all people was chosen to be an ambassador, and in this particular one, as a result of the sequence of events that happened in book 9, there's been there's been called a convocation of monarchs, and to there's been called a convocation of monarchs essentially to discuss the recent revelations and the cure that has appeared for a particular weapon that's used widely in this world. So of course this convocation kicks off, and it's not too long after that that the first dead body appears. And if Toby wants there to be any sort of progress made, and essentially to keep her allies safe, she has no choice but to figure out who's dropping bodies at this convocation. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what this book is all about. And what can I say except it's a bit interesting to. It's an okay installment as far as October Day novels go. So the first standout thing about this one is that it has much more of a twist in terms of the mystery side of things, because it is very much a murder mystery, whereas the mysteries that Toby typically deals with tend to be more along the lines of missing people. And then there's we have that sense of intensity, that sense of urgency, given the timeline and given the the political interests that have a presence here in this particular book. But setting that aside, this book, because it all takes place within this one location, essentially, we don't have that kind of fast-paced, action-packed movement that we typically have in Toby Day novels. Not that there isn't some action here, there isn't some excitement and that sort of stuff. It's very much there. It's just that the way that this particular story unfolds is a bit different from the typical action adventure. The focus is very much more on the mystery side of things. All of that being said, it is also very much more of a political drama kind of story as well. Given the nature of the story, like this is very much about the different monarchs and their motives for for their stance when it comes to this cure, and why they have the view that they have on whether it should be released and that kind of thing. So then there is quite a bit more drama in that sense. More drama in the sense of like the political and that kind of thing. But where this book gets really interesting, more than any of the previous books in the series to date, is because it because of the fact that this is large, quite a big section of this book is all about the politics. It allows Seanan McGuire to touch on some of the themes and the ideas that she's played with over the course of this series. It allows her to touch on it in a way where we see these ideas not from the view of the regular person, but from the view of the ruler, of the person who has to make the choices that impact so many people. And it deals with, of course, with a story like this, it deals with it deals with the class politics, namely the place of changelings in this society, the way that they're viewed, the way that they're treated as a class of people within this society, within this culture. And of course, it allows us to see that this like the view on it is not homogeneous, and more interestingly, it allows us to see things from the perspective of the rulers, because people who like as like a ruler can be, they have to represent the interests of their people, or ideally they should represent the interests of the people that they're supposed to represent. So because of that, like, it was interesting to see from their viewpoint how they could justify what they justify in their positions. So there's all that kind of stuff going on. We get like we essentially get the political aspect to why fairy society exists the way it is in this particular book. All wrapped, and the thing about it, the thing that I love most about it is that it's very much world building. It is very much like a kind of lore drop, but it's like themes and ideas and these kind of things that are baked into the novel in a way that this isn't something that is proselytized to us or anything like that. It's revealed to us as part of the story as Toby carries out her investigation into the murder, and she has to investigate these different personalities and figure out what makes them tick, and figure out why, like, if they have a motive for what they do. She has to examine their stance, and as a result of that, like, we get their stance on these topics, on these flashpoint topics, you can call them, given Toby's standing and that sort of stuff. Of course, you know, given Toby's nature and the nature of the people who are present at this thing, like, it also pushes forward. It also reinforces some of the common themes that. Some of the other common themes that run through the story, like, you know, one of the biggest ones is it's just this world's analog to racism, in the way that Toby is viewed as a half blood compared to the pure blood fairies. It reinforces the concept of family, which is a concept that it holds true just through every single shaded October Day novel, because in confronting these ideas and these viewpoints that are presented by these monarchs and this kind of thing, like, it just kind of solidifies how special it is, the found family that Toby has kind of assembled for herself, that we very much see play an active part in this story over the course of it. And of course, you know, we have the all setting all that social context aside and all of that. We have what we typically expect from an October Day novel, which is a kind of fast-paced murder mystery, a kind of fast-paced story, even if this one is a murder mystery compared to the more kind of action-adventure kind of thrillers that she would typically go through. We have the complicated character stories that they don't necessarily introduce conflict and these kind of things, but they do progress relationships in realistic ways, often wholesome ways, within her particular chosen band of fellows, for lack of a better way to put it. So it delivers very much on that, and it delivers on a fun romp overall, because despite tackling these heavy, like these more, some of the weightier concepts that are baked into just the nature of how this entire society works and how this world works, Seanan McGuire still manages to put together a very fun story that it was just a fun read from start to finish, as they all are. This one wasn't necessarily as fun as some of the best in the series, but so far, I'm now 10 books in. This is over halfway in the series, and there's not a single one of these books I can say that I disliked or I thought was bad. Like, everything was above average at this point. And that's a testament to just the quality of this series. It just works on multiple levels, because the idea, like the world building and everything, like the conceptualization of this entire series, in terms of the characters, the world building, the threats that she faces, and just how everything plays out. So it was just so richly done that stories like these can happen, and it just leaves you engaged, and it just keeps you wanting to see what happens next. And that's kind of where I am at the end of Once Broken Fate. So I think that's all I have to say about this book. A good installment into the series, one that will leave you thinking quite a bit more than probably any of the other ones previously. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.